appropriate music, the Emperor, for this situation, with the Slayers team being up 2-1 right now, and Clyde has been brought off the bench and into the booth to play for the Slayers team. They're up 2-1, so there's not a ton of pressure on Clyde, but you know what? There might be a little bit of pressure. It's his first time playing for Slayers. You know, he just recently joined the team, and it's his first time playing the GSTL in a little while, so kind of a little bit of pressure on him. What can you do for us now that we've brought you here to our humble abode? Calm Before the Storm is going to be the map chosen by Clyde.
And with Calm Before the Storm being the next map, it makes even more sense to choose a Terran player, because Zerg is struggling quite a lot on Calm Before the Storm against Terran.
Yep.
The way the map works is just designed to have those long games, and we are going to see probably macro game of those two players on Calm Before the Storm, so let's have a quick look. The game is about to start. It is Clyde against
The feeling that your life's in hell. I want to show you a life. Welcome to paradise. That's where I'm coming.
At the top left of the map, we have in the red colors the Zerg player from Team FXO. It is
FXO Lucky.
That's right, Lucky being able to defeat Crank, taking one winner for FXOpen Esports. And at the bottom left, we have his opponent in the blue colors, the Terran player from Team Slayers. Yes.
Slayers Clyde.
And as I already mentioned, it's a little bit hard for Zerg to play on Calm Before the Storm. So the Terran player, of course, it's very, very easy to get that natural expansion. There's no problem at all. You only have to defend that one ramp in your main base. And also getting a third base is very easy. And from that point on, a Terran player has just so many opportunities and possibilities to engage and to try to drop. The drop play is very strong on this map, and you can also take a fourth with the Planetary Fortress. You can try to expand towards your opponent as well if you're slowly moving forward with siege tanks, for example. And yeah, well, Terran is pretty good against Zerg on this map, so choosing Clyde makes a lot of sense.
Yep. By the way, I want to correct myself. Someone tweeted at me. Just check it out on my Twitter, at Moltrap, and someone corrected me. Puzzle was actually on ZeNEX before, not NS Hosa, so my bad.
Now we have the 14 command center for Clyde. No surprise there. So yeah, as I already mentioned, on Calm Before the Storm you can get away with a lot of greedy builds in the early game, and this is exactly what Clyde is doing right now. While we have early expansion for Lucky as well, obviously starting with a hatch first. And if you're a Zerg player, you always are trying to get that base outside your main base first, because you want to have the creep spread.
Yes, indeed. And yeah, so we're definitely going to see a macro-oriented game here. The question is, what are we going to see out of Lucky in response to this fast second command center?
We have Clyde already with gas, so he is getting gas right now. Is not playing all too greedy. We are probably seeing him for the very early third base as well. Terran players have been trying to get an early third against Zerg in general. We've seen the strategy all, well, really often, for example, on maps like Antigua and on Calm Before the Storm as well. So if Clyde is not aiming for some kind of two-base attack, then he is definitely throwing down third command center pretty soon. Not just yet now though. And for his opponent, we have speed. He's going for gas, and
oh, that's just harsh, man. Putting down an engineering bay at the third, and what that's saying is, he's basically like, all right, well, you're gonna want to drone up heavily and get a third base in response to this, but you're gonna have to get some attack units to kill this eBay first. So nice, cute little move there. It's gonna slow down the economy of FXO Lucky and make sure that his economy stays stronger.
Actually, I don't really agree with that eBay, to be honest.
Nope.
No, if you block the natural, then it's definitely a nice move, but blocking the third, I think he won't be able to delay that by all too much. He no, well, his opponent didn't scout it. Lucky has no idea it's there, but still, as soon as he realizes, he will send a couple of Zerglings over, and that's about it. And the Overlord is already hovering on top of the engineering base, so he knows fully well that there's a building blocking his potential third base, and will send over Zerglings just in time to kill it. So that's just wasted money for the Terran player. And that's the third base, by the way. The third base, we are going to see that third command center, as already mentioned. And at the same time, something I want to point out is I'm not sure if I really agree with Lucky getting speed all that so fast, because he can't do anything with it. There's not a lot that he can do with speed right now. He needs to defend against Hellion, obviously, but he could have gotten gas a little bit later. He's not mining gas now, so oh, he just started again. He's had a break in gas. He only sent one back. Yeah, he has one drone mining gas, is now just getting the third. So he knows that he needs no gas, that he can take the third, that he can just completely drone up and then start his tech. But yeah, Creep was a little bit early. He probably has a Spine Crawler as well, and should maybe try to get a better SimCity so he can start walling off in order to prevent Hellions from streaming into his main base.
Yep, and now he definitely knows those Hellions are out on the map. He does have an extra Queen at his natural so that he can help fend off these Hellions. Oh, he's going to take out a Spine Creep Tumor. Yes, he gets it. Does not get the cancel on that. And a second Spine Crawler going up at the expansion as well. Really does not want to have to deal with those Hellions.
I guess that we are going to see probably some Mutalisks from Lucky. We've seen also Ultralisks on Calm Before the Storm, but I'm not sure if Ultralisks are really the best choice. There are a lot of kind of narrow ways where a Terran player with the right positioning can deal a lot of damage. Right now, Clyde is just trying to get the map control with his Hellions. He's already looking everywhere if there's a hidden expansion, a move that I really like a lot, because we've seen in the past that a lot of players try to hide another base on Calm Before the Storm. Lucky now adding a lot of gas to get his tech going, is adding Bailing Nest, and the lair tech is on its way.
And he's getting Duple upgrades as well, and actually, even though the Terran got 2 eBays, the 1-1 is going to be finished a little bit earlier for the Zerg player Lucky. And we caught a second of it. We did see a Zergling scout Clyde's base and saw that the reactor has been switched over for the starport, so he knows that he doesn't have to worry about a ton of Hellions. He doesn't have to get a Roachborn or anything like that, so he's going to be sitting pretty. He's like, alright, I can just sit back, get my drones going, get my tech going, and I'll be fine going into mid-game.
Infestor play is a lot more likely now that Lucky has started with his double upgrades, and his lair is about to finish. He has a bunch of Bailings, and let's see what kind of tech tree he chooses, but given the fact that he already started the upgrades, Infestor will be like, nope, he's sticking with the Mutalisks.
And notice he also, by scouting that starport, knew about the timing when these drops were going to come. So you saw him get Zerglings and Banelings in position for these drops even before they happened. Beautiful move. Dropping some Hellions out anyway, and they just die, so...
He didn't take the gas at his third base yet, by the way. Doing a very good job defending right now. Job well done so far.
Oh, is he going to kill the... Ooh, almost got a medevac.
Get it. So yeah, he didn't get gas at the third. He started with the 2 ground upgrades, so he will have a little bit less Mutalisks than you have usually when you go for the Spire play. And yeah, that's what I'm actually a little bit surprised about, because I thought he would maybe start the upgrades a little later, or at least take gas number 5 and 6.
Oh, the Hellions dropping out, doing some damage to the Zerglings. The Banelings finally decide to actually stop just sitting there, and they do explode, forcing those Hellions off.
Harvester-wise, we have 75 against 63 now. The third base for Light has been built. That one Overseer is just trying to get a good idea about which unit combination Clyde is using from now on.
Everything. Sees everything. Sees all the barracks going up. Knows it's going to be sheer bio play.
+1/+1 is nearly finished for Clyde, and he's lined up the armory perfectly so that he can start, well, not really perfectly, but he can start with the +2/+2 upgrades very, very soon. And Lucky is only getting 5 Mutalisks right now, which is also due to the fact that he starts with +2/+2 immediately, gets the +1 attack upgrade also for the air units, and of course the speed for the Banelings upon reaching lair.
I like the fact that Lucky's going for these upgrades so quickly. The fact that Clyde had that armory a little bit late to line up to get 2-2 means that 5 to 10 second lead means there's now a 20 second lead, actually going on 30 second lead that Lucky's going to have on upgrades, where his Zerglings are going to be so much more powerful than Clyde's Marines for a period of time, about 30 seconds.
Usually you try to do a little bit of damage with the Mutalisks, but with Lucky only building a few of them.
Yeah, he didn't have a ton.
Yeah, he didn't attack with all too many Mutalisks, and his opponent was able to prepare already. What Lucky's trying to do now is get a little bit of map awareness, just trying to scout, trying to deny 4th bases, and as soon as his Mutalisk count is high enough, he will obviously try to snipe the occasional unit that's left behind or pick off some of the reinforcements if possible.
Now, we're seeing clearly in the style of what Lucky's doing here, he is going for the late game. He's getting a 4th, he's getting tons of upgrades, very few units, getting the air upgrades before the Mutalisks, etc. And we saw, though, in Clyde's base, he made a ton of barracks. He's getting some upgrades as well, but he is clearly looking to, push off these 3 bases. So Lucky, he can take his 4th base, but he's going to have to start making a lot of units here pretty quick, as Clyde is now out on the map, starting to try and poke and prod, see if he can do any damage.
We have a 4th base, as you mentioned, for Lucky, but I'm a little bit surprised that Lucky so far didn't start his infestation pit. We have plus...
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, there it is.
Because if he's really aiming for a longer game, that's usually what you do on...
That's actually a really good point.
On Calm Before the Storm, you need that hive tech. Without the hive tech, there's just no chance that you can win, not with the Mutalisk and Linger combination, not the entire game. So, yep, the infestation pit is being built, and 2 additional hatches at that.
And here comes this pretty decent army of Clyde pushing in here.
Clyde is maxed out on 100, well, not really, 197 supply so far against 180.
Has he left troops at home for the counterattack is what I'm wondering here. He has a bunch of troops at home for the counterattack, and oh no, he's going to lose a tank! Maybe 2 for free, the Marines rush in, but the Mutalisks get 2 free tanks and get out with virtually no damage done. A drop going in the back of the natural, though, at the same time. It's going to get cleaned up, but it draws Lucky out of position a little bit.
Those tank kills are exactly what I was talking about, and now he can't just try to use the Mutalisk because they have a higher number now. He can try to pick off reinforcements. At the same time, he's able to shut down this drop blade, but already a lot of buildings. And here comes the major attack. All those Banelings roll into the Marines, trying to connect. Nice micro by Clyde so far, but the split is not perfect. He's losing a lot of his units, but still able to hold off the forces of Lucky. 170 supply against 160. More Banelings connecting with the Marines, and the reinforcements are streaming in and taking down the whole and entire army.
The Zerglings are going to clean that up. The reinforcements of Clyde are now arriving on scene, but are they going to be enough? They are going to push back Lucky, but man, what a difference those 2 tanks would have made. He only had like 5, going down to 3 before that. He was not able to kill those Banelings before they closed ranks with some of his Marines.
He could have split his Marines a lot better.
Yeah, he could have done it a lot better.
He lost way too many of them, but Lucky obviously chose that point of engagement very, very well. He's now still on 4 bases against 3. We have a 4th command center built for Clyde, and he's getting +3/+3 attack. Well, finally Lucky, halfway done with a hive tech, is trying to go for his tier 3.
Yep, and so that means that this is the time when Lucky's going to basically be pretty set here. He just has to defend this attack. He's going to be on 4 bases. He's going to have an advantage.
This base is going to fall. If he's playing it smart. Oh, actually he is.
Oh, there's a ton of Zerglings there, though.
There were a bunch of Banelings that we didn't see on camera just yet.
Oh, the Zerglings charging in. The tanks are out in the open. The Zerglings taking them down very quick. There's only a couple tanks in the back. He needs to target down so many Banelings. 1 volley goes off. The next volley does not go off. All the Banelings survive, and those Marines are running for their dear lives, and they're in orange and yellow, ladies and gentlemen, stimming into the red as the Zerglings catch up with the virtually dead Marines and start to slaughter them. They are never going to get home. Never getting home. That one Marine gets home of the entire army.
I really don't like how Clyde played this.
Wow.
His split was not all that good, and he didn't target down his opponent's Banelings with the tanks. He could have killed a lot more Banelings. Maybe he was just occupied at another point in time, at another point on the map, but this was really a little bit weird because I thought he would be able to kill many more Banelings before the actual engagement started. He had two upgrades already. He's on 3-3 soon, so I think...
I'm not sure if he was even targeting down the Banelings there because it didn't look like many Banelings exploded
not at all.
on approach to those tanks. and his tank count has just not been high enough to really match there. He's not been high enough to take down the mass banelings, and even though Lucky, this drop is going to take out the gas I was about to mention, being mined from that 4th base.
I like the drop play of Clyde right now. Trying to get back into the game with the drop play is a good decision, but now FXO Lucky is streaming in with everything. He has the Bailings, the Zerglings trying to prevent the Marines from running back, and the Bailings are rolling it everywhere.
Bailings chasing those red Marines and SCVs into the corner. There's nowhere left to run, and the Bailings pin them against the wall and explode. All of the Marines have been taken out. Clyde's base is now in tatters. This drop is taking out that top base, but Clyde, we didn't see it, had to lift his new base that he was trying to sneak in the bottom right of the map, so he has nothing to fall back to, nothing to go with, and he has nothing left, and Lucky has turned things around and is going to take this to a 2-2 tie in this situation, being down 0-2. Beautiful play by FXO Lucky.
Lings and Mutalists in the main base in a beautiful position at the production facilities. So there is nothing that Clyde can do right now. Every new build unit will be immediately picked off by Zerglings and Mutalisks. This game is over, and Lucky taking another win for FXO Esports. Clyde, well, with the last desperate attempt to drop with 3 Marines, but, well, that's not gonna work.
Nope, not gonna work at all. Looking over at Clyde's booth right now, he is still playing. He's still moving around as if he was playing, but he looks pretty discouraged right now. And here's his. Maybe he's hoping to come back with that one base down there. GG, and I think probably staying in the game there for so long just out of disappointment. You know, like I said, this was his chance to kind of say, all right, I'm part of Team Slayers now. I'm actually going to contribute to this team, and instead, really failing to do so, losing his first game there against FXO Lucky. Strong opponent, no shame there, but still, Clyde's got to feel really disappointed. Lucky, though, he is walking on Cloud9 right now. He is playing extremely well and bringing his team back into it.
So the series is tied. The clan war is tied. Lucky will have to face another play. Will have to face a 3rd one. And I have to say that he did quite a good job the last game, but I was a little bit disappointed by Clyde's unit management.
Yep, didn't have the best splits there, didn't use his Marines to protect his tanks. Even when he had very few tanks there, he knew the mutas were there, still kind of moved his Marines out of the way there and let those mutas snipe a couple tanks before that first engagement. And yeah, definitely could have done a lot better. Didn't do horribly, obviously. He played really well. He had his macro on really well the entire game, just could not keep up with the positioning and the tactics that Lucky threw at him. So we're going to be at 2-2 here. We're going to find out who Slayers is going to send out next.
And the next map will be Daybreak, so the next player will have to face Lucky on Daybreak, which is kind of a macro map. And yeah, we already talked a little bit about Clyde in the last game. I think if he would have microed his tanks a little better to take down the Banelings, he would have been in a good position to defend against Lucky's attacks. But as it is, he was not able to withstand the power of the Swarm, and therefore Lucky takes down his 2nd victim. And who is Slayers going to announce as the next player?
I'm going to find out. And also, Clyde did a number of drops in that game and did about close to squat damage with all of them combined. He was never able to actually accomplish anything with those drops. Lucky was always right on top of them and shut them down very quickly. So there's that as well. Didn't really gain anything by those drops. In fact, just lost units for the most part on those drops. So anyway, here we go. We're going to find out who is Slayers going to send. I'm going to go with... Well, actually, we're going to find out. Here we go. Is that Puzzle? I think that's Puzzle. We're going to confirm in just a second. But I believe that is their new Protoss player, formerly of ZeNEX. It is indeed Puzzle. Very interesting. And, you know, I was talking before about how Puzzle, you know, he's kind of fallen off the map for a while. He's kind of back on the map now. is another thing to think about. I mean, he He'd fallen off the map. He played really well in his first season of Code A, and everyone thought he was the Protoss bourgeois to be, and then he kind of lost a lot. But now he's back. He's actually in Code S, the round of 16. So props to Puzzle for really getting back in it, and he is definitely going to be a strong opponent for Lucky. A little bit curious why they're sending another Protoss out against Lucky, who just doesn't lose to Protosses, but maybe Puzzle has something up his sleeve that will be able to defeat the monster and end his string of luck.
We'll find out in just a few seconds as both players already joined the lobby, and we have Puzzle here with average wins of 0.43. A couple of statistics for Code S player who's currently ranked 39 in the GSL.
Very strong player these days. And really cool to see Slayers sending out, their Protoss players here. Known as a Terran-heavy team, only winning because they're Terran players. Really cool to see that happening. We might even see a Slayer Zerg later. Who knows?
Map number 5, ladies and gentlemen, the series is tied 2-2. We are going to see the next match as both players are just getting ready to start this game. Who's going to take the lead in the clan war between FXO and Slayers? And at this daybreak, Zerg against Protoss.